Should I have shaved my head bald before reviewing Bugonia? Probably. It would make sense. It would be fun. It would be within the context of the movie and whatnot. Yeah, sure, cool. But I'm former military, and I know what this noggin looks like bald, and I promise you do not want to see it. But you do want to hear my review. Let's get into this. Welcome back to the Cinefanatics. My name is Robert Adams. Today I've got a spoiler-free review for Yorgos Lanthimos' Bugonia. Man, that is a mouthful to say. Before I jump into this, let me know your thoughts, feelings, opinions down below. Like, comment, subscribe, YouTube things, and whatever. Anyways, so I saw this movie about a month ago at Fantastic Fest. And I will tell you right off the bat, I had a blast with this movie. It was so much fun. I enjoyed it. Yes, this is going to be a positive review. I know there's a lot of people that are going to be negative about this movie, and I know why, and I will be talking about that pretty soon, here in a bit. Again, let me know your thoughts, your opinion of this movie down below in the comments. Right off the bat, if you don't know, because I didn't watch a trailer, I didn't do anything before going into this movie. The only thing I knew about this movie is this movie has Emma Stone in it, and she's bald. That's it. I had no idea. I thought this was going to be some kind of weird, abstract, it has something to do with aliens, and that's about it. That's all I knew. Yeah, I was wrong. Completely wrong. For those of you who don't know, here's the elevator pitch. Two conspiracy theorists kidnap a CEO thinking that she's a part of some alien militia and is trying to force her to contact her alien race to keep her and her aliens from taking over Earth. That's about it. That is the quick pitch on it. This is based off of a 2003 Korean film called Save the Green Planet. So it is a remake. I had a lot of fun with this movie. Let's get into the actual parts of this movie. For the good, the stuff that I like from this. You have elements of like conspiracy theorists, eat the rich type of story. There's a lot of elements of like class structure and stuff to this. You've got Emma Stone as the CEO of a very successful pharmaceutical company. And then you've got Jesse Plemons and Aidan Delbis as conspiracy theory, so you've got a lot of this like super ultra rich versus, hey, we exist type of people. And while it doesn't feel like the movie is overly preachy, it is making fun of a certain type of people, namely like the conspiracy theorists, which if you're someone who's active on social media, you've probably run into a couple of these types of people before in your life. So that might put off some people. And I'll probably talk more about that here in a little bit when we get more into like Jesse Plemons and Aidan Delbis' character. Overall, this movie, I would say watching this, it felt like a Coen Brothers film. You got that crime comedy kind of fun to it, but it's also just a slightly bit absurd. So you have that, and the movie is kind of a slow burn as far as questioning what is happening until the third act. The third act is where this is definitely a Yorgos Lanthimos movie, and we're no longer in like Coen Brothers territory. And I feel like that's really what nails and cements this movie as something amazing. It does something. The beginning of the third act takes a weird turn, and it's not anything I feel like, at least the crowd that I was with at Fantastic Fest, no one was expecting what we got at the beginning of that. And then from that moment on, it is just like balls to the wall, just insane. So it is fun. It's a fun movie. I very much enjoy it. But yeah, that third act is where it all just goes bonkers, becomes a Lanthimous movie and whatnot. Absolutely adored that. Acting in this movie, again, Emma Stone. Emma Stone is, I guess, like a Lanthimous muse at this point. She keeps popping up in a lot of his movies, and she's doing a phenomenal job. She is no different in this movie. I like seeing her, especially if you're coming back from where most of us really got to introduced to her, which was back in Superbad. And then watching her be this like powerful pharmaceutical CEO, controlling. We see her with her life routine, much like what's the dude that showed off his morning routine on Twitter and whatnot. We get to see that side of her character. And it's just so entertaining how she does this. She is kind of a generic CEO, but I feel like that's what we need to feed into this storyline. Like, this movie would not work if she wasn't a strong woman, but also a very generic, like, bland by the book type of CEO. She does look like she's having a blast playing this character, especially when it came to shaving her hair, which she was all game for, and she did like live in real life, because you may have seen images of her since filming this movie where she has really short hair. This is why. And she's just having so much fun playing off of Jesse Plemons and Aidan Delbus on this, just playing off of these two nitwits for all intents and purposes. Jesse Plemons, he is more of like the leader of the two of them. I'll talk about Aidan Delbus here in a bit, but Jesse Plemons is playing the character who knows what's going on. He is aware of the world around him, and he is the like head conspiracy theorist. His character is gonna be one of those that we've seen in recent media that people are going to say that his character is kind of preachy, in that he's playing more of a caricature of this kind of person, the type of person who is like the white trash redneck conspiracy theorist who believes everything they see online. I'm not going to dive into specific conspiracy theories because I don't care, and I don't need that in the comments. This isn't a platform for you to argue if conspiracy theorists are correct or wrong. We're talking about a movie. But it is that kind of an idea that people are going to watch this. They're going to hear about this character, and some of them may be offended because you yourself may be a conspiracy theorist. Cool. But this movie does make fun of those kinds of people who are the conspiracy theorists. The earth is flat, the moon landing didn't happen, jet fuel can't melt steel beams, this world's being taken over by aliens, and Emma Stone's character is one of the head leaders. That's what we're getting from his character, and I can see why people would possibly have a problem with that. It's making fun of you. This is the same kind of logic that we see in reactions to The Boys or Ari Aster's Eddington. These are things that we're seeing nowadays in pop culture that are making fun of people in reality, and they're all watching this like, oh, this is fun. Wait, is this making fun of me? It is. It is absolutely making fun of you. And that's what this movie does. Aidan Delbus, I will say, great performance. This is his first movie, and I say he knocks it out of the park. He does a lot with extremely little in this movie. I'm curious to hear him talk about stuff that he, as a person, is interested in, because he's so reserved and quiet in this movie, and he's really just following like Jesse Plemons' character's lead and just doing whatever he says. Which, I mean, going back to reality, there are people that are like that don't have like a full wherewithal of the world around them, and so they follow like their friends or family. We see this in movies, we've seen it in real life. That is the type of character that he is playing. And then again, this is sadly another performance that a lot of people might not like, because he is also playing another variation on this kind of a caricature of these types of people. Oh well. I mean, I don't know what to say. This actually does exist in the real world. People do act like this, and I feel like that's, while it's harsh to make fun of them, at the same time, it's like, this is how you look. This is how people are going to interpret what you do. So, like, even this review, I feel like, is going to start getting a little bit preachy, but that's what this movie, when you hear a lot of negativity about this movie, that's what it is it's making fun of a certain group of people while trying to lift up another group of people, namely, like, say, the pharmaceutical CEO. But it is also kind of making fun of her as well. Like, it's just, it's two extreme examples from the lifestyle of what we as people could be. And I feel like they do a really good job of giving us a full scope of how all of these characters fit into this narrative, to this story. And I absolutely love it. Aiden Delbus does a phenomenal job. And again, I can't wait to see him do more. Bad things for this movie. There's a part of this where the pacing is just a little bit off. It does get a little bit, like, as far as repetition with the explanation. Jesse Plemons' character just kind of has to rehash to Emma Stone, hey, we know you're an alien, we know you're doing this, and we expect you to cooperate and do this, that, and the other. And it just gets a little too much over time. The ending, again, I don't want to be spoilery, but the ending is a bit predictable. I was like, you know, what would be great if this movie ended this way? And that's exactly how that movie ended. Again, the third act is where everything just gets completely bonkers, but it's a third act that you can kind of guess, like, if I was someone who was writing out this story, this is what I would do. I would have fun with this, and that's what they do with that third act. It is still fun, even though, like, I was able to guess it. I still had a blast. It's one of those that it's not necessarily the ending, it's the journey to get there and how we arrived at the point that I was like, oh yeah, I know what this is gonna do. And for context, I had not seen the original, even though now, as of right now, as I'm recording this, I have gone back and read about the original, and it does basically the same exact ending. So it is out there and known how this movie's going to end, but it's a lot of fun still watching the process to get there. It is interesting to see what other details we're going to pick up on this. Again, it's kind of a slow burn with just how some of these characters are introduced and the repetition of, like, trying to coerce Emma Stone's character to contact her mothership or the alien race at all whatsoever, give any kind of information. It does get a little bit repetitive, but it is a funny movie. The comedy in this movie is so good, given the absurdity of the situation. Again, if you are familiar with Coen Brothers and how they set up their crime comedies, that's what you should be expecting, at least in the first two acts of this movie. Third act is it's insane. And I will preface this by saying, maybe not overall like a huge Yorgos Lanthimos fan. I can't even pronounce his name right most of the time. But I do like, I enjoyed Poor Things. I do like this movie. This movie, I had a blast with it. I was smiling from ear to ear while watching this. I highly recommend go check it out. If you can put aside the fact that it's calling a certain group of people out for being how they are, if you can look past that and just enjoy this movie as entertainment, you're going to have a good time. If you can't get past that, well, this is a channel that talks about movies. I can't help you for any of that. But what I can do is help you find us on the internet. You can follow the Cinefanatics on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok, as I do like out of the theater reactions, all of that fun stuff. You can follow me personally at RCA Reacts on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Letterboxd. Also youtube.com/@RCA Reacts. That's going to do it for my review of Bugonia. Again, what did you think about the movie? If you've seen it already, let me know down below in the comments, or if you see it after it comes out. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know. I want to have a conversation down below in the comments, so make sure you do that. Otherwise, thank you for watching this video, and we will catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.